Hey Most Amazing Top 10 family, I'm your host Chad Reyna and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. How do ghosts get caught up in your business? One day you're just sitting around watching TV and the next thing you know there's a ghostly bride in her wedding dress standing in your doorway asking you if you've seen her husband. Just leave us alone, we're trying to binge watch some television over here. Well, you at home seem to love these mysterious hauntings and that's why I'm bringing you today's list of top 10 Mysterious Unsolved Hauntings Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, go check it out right now, it's great. Also, I would love if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. And stick around for the whole list because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you guys love so much. If you guys want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. And if anyone at home wants some more Most Amazing Top 10 content, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We're starting to do Facebook exclusive content, so go over there to check that out. If any of you would like some Most Amazing Top 10 merch, check out the link below. Use the offer code MA10 to get $5 off, which means you can grab a shirt for only 10 bucks, which is a sweet deal. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. At number 10, we have Dominican Hill in the Philippines. Just the sight of this old rundown manor at the top of Dominican Hill will make you not want to walk through the doors. This place looks like the start of every horror movie that takes place in a mansion. After you walk into this place, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a disembodied voice that said, "Resident Evil." It should be no surprise that this place is haunted. There's enough tortured souls here to start a softball league. The massive building sitting at the top of Dominican Hill was once used as a Seminole hall and a rest stop during World War II, and there wasn't a whole lot of resting that was happening there. This was the place where nuns and priests would be rounded up and beheaded. It's unknown how many people lost their lives there, but it's enough to make the sight of a headless ghost a regular occurrence. Not to mention the cemetery that is dug right next to the property. If I wonder if headless ghosts make two separate ghosts, like there's the body of the ghost and then the head of the ghost, and do the body ghosts bully the headless ghost, like the head they just start kicking it around all day? Who knows? We'll never have the answer to these questions. At number 9 we have Orson Welles. Oh damn, we got a famous person on the list, woo! Which is kind of strange. I thought ghosts only come around when they have unfinished business. Being one of the greatest actors of all time and changing the way the world sees movies wasn't enough for you? Go take a nap, dude. You did more in your life than most people could do in 10 lifetimes. It's time to relax. Apparently, if you swing past Orson Welles' old home at the right time, you might see a ghostly figure of the heavy-set actor wandering around his home checking stuff out. He's also been seen in his old favorite bakery, Sweet Lady Jane. I believe the first one, but the second one sounds more like a publicity stunt. That's how you get people to come in. Like, yeah, Orson Welles' ghost is here all the time and Tupac is in our basement. I would want to talk to Orson Welles' ghost though. My first question would be, what do you think of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and which do you think is better, Infinity War or Endgame? At number 8 we have Alcatraz Prison. One of the most notorious prisons in the world hasn't stopped being a home of terror even years after it's been closed. It's said that the haunted souls of this prison still walk the halls. You can take tours of Alcatraz Prison if you like, and many of the people who venture there said they feel an atmosphere of hatred and darkness. Some people have said they've seen dark figures walking out of cells and down the hallways. Strange lights can be seen from the prison at night. A former inmate, Leon Thompson, worked as a tour guide for the prison after its closure. My god, I couldn't imagine a worse job. Wouldn't that trigger all your PTSD? Like, over there used to be the cafeteria, and in that corner was where I would be beaten within an inch of my life every Thursday. One day, while waiting for his group to arrive for his tour, Leon swears he saw the ghostly figure of one of his former friends and inmates. His ghost friend was probably like, dude, what are you doing back here? Go work at a bakery or something. You have your life to live. At number 7 we have Disney World. If there is anywhere I would want to spend eternity as a spirit caught between worlds, it would be Disney World. Not only do you get to scare kids all day every day, which is a hidden passion of mine, they have Star Wars now. Cool! But there's a lot of hauntings that have been going on in this magical Disney themed park. There's the ghost of an older woman who children have said they've seen when they get lost. Apparently she will find these lost kids and bring them back to their parents or guide them somewhere safe. The people at Disney were like, if you want to be a ghost here, then you better get a job. Go impersonate Casper or something, but don't tell them that you're Casper. Not until we buy him. There's also a ghost on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Legend says if the workers don't greet him when they walk in the morning, the ride will break down, which I totally agree with. Say good morning, please. At number 6 we have Bonnie and Clyde. The original power couple. When people talk about how they need a ride or die partner, this is what they mean. Bonnie and Clyde are of course the infamous couple who spread terror as they robbed and murdered their way through the United States. They have long since been dead, but their ghosts want to still stir things up. At the site they were shot down, floating orbs have been seen, thought to be the spirit of the dastardly duo. Their bullet-ridden V8 is on display at a museum in Nevada. This is also a location where the spirits of Bonnie and Clyde will hang out. Even though your car is run down and is filled with bullet holes, it's hard to let go. At number 5 we have the Airedale Asylum in Australia. Not everything in Australia is didgeridoos and kangaroos. Actually, most things aren't. And me saying that was very insensitive. I'm sorry, Australia. Australia isn't home to beautiful beaches and more spiders than one place should ever have. They also house the Airedale Asylum in Ariat. This is one of those old school joints. It opened its doors in 1867 and was home to some of the worst criminals on the continent. Australia was a place where they would send criminals to help build a country, so this prison was really filled with the worst of the worst. It's estimated that over 13,000 people died from a plethora of causes. Some people just aged out, but a lot of them met their grisly end by hanging, firing squad, or from their fellow inmates. You really have to be on your toes when you're in prison. Literally everyone is trying to kill you. If you visit this relic from a brutal time, prepare to be spooked. People have reported strange noises, loud bangs coming throughout the prison, and voices can be heard screaming out in pain. At number 4 we have Highgate Cemetery in England. This is actually a pretty famous tourist attraction for a couple of reasons. There's actually a bunch of famous people that have been buried there. And apparently there is a ton of vampires. People were so convinced that the cemetery had vampires in it that they started digging up dead bodies and driving stakes through their hearts. That's commitment to the game. If I heard there was vampires somewhere, I'd probably just buy a UV light and hope that worked. I don't know. Vampire hunters will make annual trips to this place to control the plague. I think this is just an excuse for some dudes to look super serious and wear capes. At number 3 we have the Bhangra Fort in Rajasthan, India. This fort is massive. It's almost like a stone village. You could pack a ton of people into this thing and it would be a great party. I wonder if you can rent it out. But this place isn't on this list because a bunch of people were murdered there or because it used to be a massive prison. It actually is much funnier than that. There's more than one legend about why the fort is a huge hotspot for paranormal activity, but I'm going to tell you my favorites. A long time ago there was a beautiful princess that lived in the castle. A wizard wanted to marry her. I am not making this up, this is the actual legend. Well, the princess didn't want to marry this dude, probably because he was a wizard, which means he was like 1,000 years old. So he tried to do a love spell on her, but it didn't take. So the wizard got pissed off, and instead of moving on from his rejection and building a stable relationship with someone who likes him, he put a curse on the whole fort. This guy has some terrible coping mechanisms. Now it's said that this fort is packed full of demons and ghosts, and whoever enters can never leave. At number 2 we have the Aokigahara Forest in Japan. This one is on my list of places I never want to go to. If you are unfamiliar with the Aokigahara Forest, it's also known as the Suicide Forest. It's unknown how many people go to this forest every year to end their lives, but it's estimated to be over 100. Apparently the spirits of these people who die in the forest are stuck in the forest forever. On the bright side, there would be a bunch of ghosts you get to hang out with in the afterlife. The eerie mysterious part about this forest is what attracts people to it. Has the forest just become a part of culture, an answer for people who are suicidal? If that part of the equation is already answered, it would be a lot easier to go through it. Or is there something darker at play? Is there some sort of ominous power that gets into the minds of its victims, leading them to the forest so it can have another soul for its collection? And for the number 1 spot we have Elvis Presley. The king of rock and roll lives as a ghostly apparition from the other side. Apparently if you go to his old recording studio, the ghost might come and tell you how to improve your music. Well, he won't do that, but the ghost has been seen walking around the studio. If you make the trip down there trying to catch a glimpse of the phantom star, then apparently all you have to do to get him to come out is start talking about him. Just speaking about the king will cause lights to flicker, and some people have said they felt a cold touch. Elvis is like, hey, who's talking about me? Alright everyone, that is our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and as promised I'm going to be doing some pet shoutouts. If you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. The way it works is Monday through Friday, pick 5 pets each day from people who message that day. If you didn't get picked one day, you can message back another day. This way it's fair for everyone and everybody gets an equal shot. Also lets me control my inbox, which is overflowing with messages. It takes me a little while to get back to you. I am sorry, I have a ton of these to do right now. Starting off, we have a Most Amazing Fans dog, Jacoby. This guy is such a good boy. Look at that little tilted head, I love it. Christina sent in a picture of her dog Tank. This guy is such a little cutie. He's a little tiny little furball. Tank's such a good name. Next we got Laura's dog Molly. This girl is ready. Look at that game face. Another fan sent in Pyrus. That's a sleepy kitty. Big time snooze. And finally we have Meadow, who sent in a picture of her cat Pickles. Maybe the best name for a pet ever. Pickles is awesome. Alright everyone, that is our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I would love it if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been Shade Arena, and I gotta investigate some more mysterious hauntings.